All right, we've got some great comments lined up for you tonight. Our first comment for the night is Ed Morin. Please give a big hand for Ed Morin.
Okay, tell you what, let me move this out of the way so you can all see me. Okay, they've got that going. Well, thank you for that introduction, Jeff. Out of all the introductions I've ever received, that was the most recent. I was talking to Kevin before the show, and he gave me some complaint forms. So if you guys don't like the show, he asked that you fill one out. They seem like a fun crowd. Tell you what, next time you go out to dinner, all alone, all by yourself, you want to have some fun with that little hostess, just tell her that your name is Pity. When your table's ready, they'll announce, "Pity party, table for one." Oh, boy. Anybody celebrating a birthday tonight? Birthdays, anyone? My birthday's Monday. I was born on a Monday. Monday, October the 26th, 1964. Well, I feel like I'm looking pretty good for 2,300 birthdays. So. Well, Jeff introduced me. My name is Ed Morin. Morin, that is French. He did not say moron, which is not French. You know, I was teased a lot as a kid, but one place I didn't expect abuse, and that's from spell checker. First time I used it was brutal. For Morin, it suggested moron. Have you been insulted by your computer? Happens to me all the time. When I write my new comedy material, I like to use the PDF format. You know, pretty darn funny. Yeah. Okay, some of you might be sitting there thinking, does this dude know what he looks like? Yeah, I know, I've got an arthritic condition. It's known as ankylosing spondylitis. And in Latin, that translates to no more skydiving, Fabio. You know, there's a Bible verse about people with ankylosing spondylitis. You'll find it in Exodus 33:3. That's where God says, "You are a stiff-necked people." You know, when I do comedy, I get real thirsty. One night I was doing a set, and boy, I was just bombing. So I grabbed some water. I said, I get thirsty when I do comedy. And I was just fearing them, saying, "Well, you're not thirsty tonight, are you, Ed?" Luckily, they weren't that quick. As you can tell, I'm also rather thin. I can eat anything I want, as much as I want. And as far as I'm concerned, that couldn't happen to a nicer guy. How many of you people hate people like me? Well, more than usual. If that's the only reason you hate me, I'm okay with that. It also means I don't need to change anything. But, you know, when I tell people that I'm a Christian and a comic, they say, "Ed, do you really think God has a sense of humor?" Like, hello, look at me. So I like what Thor said about Christians and comedy. He said, "Christians have always been funny, just not on purpose." Remember that? Yeah. I also know God has a sense of humor based upon my facial hair. See, my first gray hair grew in just below my left nostril. Giving the appearance of butter hanging out of my nose. You know, sometimes I do comedy in bars and clubs, and you know, they get this look, you know, "What are you, a Christian, doing in here?" So I just remind them, well, you know, Jesus hung around with sinners. And in fact, in Matthew chapter 21, Jesus was confronted by the chief priests and elders, and he told them, he said, "Assuredly I say to you that tax collectors and harlots will enter the kingdom of God before you." Tax collectors and harlots. So that's half the people at the Democratic National Convention. And the Republican, that's right. Heaven is bipartisan. It's that joke where it's better in Orange County than the county. I love that. But, let's face it, men and women are different. Like food, for example. I can make anything into a burrito. Frozen foods kept me alive for years. But I'd stayed away from the complicated frozen foods. Those with more than one step. What? It says heat, stir, heat some more. What do I look like, Wolfgang Puck? I can be creative. Or I don't care. When I moved out, I didn't have any pots or pans. But I had an old vaporizer. Y'all can use that for smoky links. When it comes to relationships, we're really different. Went on a blind date once. At the end of the evening, I said, "Hey, what do you think?" Her reply was 2 words: chicken pox. She only wanted one exposure to me in her lifetime. Dated another woman for a year. After she broke up with me, I said, "Hey, how come?" She said, "Ed, dating you was like buying furniture at IKEA. There was no interest for 12 months." My wife told me, "Ed, you remind me of a romantically lit cafe." But if you asked her, she said, "You're not very bright, are you?" Men and women communicating. It's kind of like talking while brushing teeth. My wife sent me to the store. 3 hours later, I came back. She said, "What took you so long?" I said, "I had to go to 5 sporting goods stores." 5 sporting goods stores for a bag of flaming hot Cheetos? Oh, I thought she wanted a bag of flaming hot Speedos. You guys ever noticed that being married is like an earthquake? Because you see, after an earthquake, a seismologist may point out, according to my calculations, that was a previously unknown fault. You're ahead of me. My wife is like that seismologist, pointing out my previously unknown faults. By a show of applause, any married people here tonight? Show of applause. Very good. You guys have heard marriage referred to as an institution? 16 years ago, I was institutionalized. Before I got married, I worried about the mother-in-law. Oh, we get along so far. My mother-in-law's daughter that I argue with. My wife and I are both Christians. We went to a Love and Respect seminar. Anybody ever heard of Love and Respect? It's okay, the joke's going to work just fine. At this seminar, I learned, guys, very important, our wives don't like it when we are secretly mad at them. When I got home from the seminar, I relearned they don't like it when we are openly mad at them. How could I forget that? But we have 2 children, a boy and a girl. Their names are Jack and Jane, not Jack and Jill. That's because they may choose my nursing home. I'll get you back for that one, man. But when my son was born, I wanted to name him Reddy, and then change his name to Jack. That way, if anybody ever asked, "Are you ready?" he could honestly say, "I was born ready." When he was born, actually, he was blue. I thought my wife had given birth to a Smurf.